Hey guys, welcome back to the After Show Week 2 edition.
Yep.
All right, so what we wanted to talk about was the big talk after Saturday night's game, Alabama and Louisville. Nick Saban went off on Maria Taylor, the sideline reporter, kind of,
Yeah.
we would say. So, Jonathan, kind of recap how everything went down.
Well, let's say there's a lot of we already knew type situation with that one. We knew Bama was gonna thump Louisville. We told you that if you'll watch our show last week. They're gonna start both. They're gonna play both quarterbacks. Tua is gonna be the starter. Shocker to no one. So after the game, of course, a lot of times sideline reporters will go talk to the head coach, and Maria Taylor did, and she asked Coach Saban about how both of the quarterbacks did, just expecting, and of course, Nick Saban expecting a question similar. He just goes off on Maria Taylor about how he cares about his players and he's not going to pick one as a starter over the other or talk negatively toward him. And it was all done in just a lot of people think was a negative way, and it just really was not a good look for Saban, at least in that moment. So, Mark, what did you think about it?
Yeah, so he asked her to quit asking that question,
Yeah.
which she didn't ask. So, a couple things on it. Really, Maria Taylor is probably one of the better sideline reporters for ESPN. So, a lot of respect for her. Even after she got blown up on, she remained professional and asked a couple more questions. Surprisingly, most people probably would have just walked away. And then, secondly, we knew Nick Saban was intense. So I mean, he's done that several times. We were talking before the show about how last year he was talking about rat poison in the media and things like that. So I don't think it was a surprise, but it should be said also that he did apologize. You said that night.
Yeah, it said that he made a phone call and apologized to her. But my question is, in a situation like that, is an apology even enough? It's national TV. You could definitely see how, if you watch the interview, he was disrespectful toward her and just like very harsh the way he spoke. So is an apology really even enough in that situation?
Yeah, I think our culture has a tendency to overreact to certain things. I mean, certainly that behavior is not, is not accepted.
Right.
But I think everybody was in an uproar about it. But Nick Saban is an intense guy. You know what you're getting. It isn't his first time doing that. I think his purpose in doing that was to send a message, not necessarily to the media, but to his team.
Right.
To say, he's all about trusting the process and doing your job, and that's going to lead to results. So I think he was sending a message to his players. Everybody needs to respect everybody, and everybody has a role to play on the team.
Right.
And as long as everybody is focused on doing that, there's going to be a championship in the future. So I think that was more his design in it. Was he a little heated? Did he go a little overboard? Probably, but I think his mission was accomplished, and it was good to hear that he did apologize after the game.
And I think you might want to add a subtitle to that message. Might have been, Jalen, don't listen to other people. I don't want you to leave because I don't want to have to deal with you possibly in the future. That was another one. I think it was a message to him as well, trying to keep him on board. Like I said, it was a question that was very much just from a standpoint of professional, and just it was a good question. She didn't ask, who are you going to start next week? It was, okay, we saw who the starter was. How did you feel the two players went since you did play them? And then she even followed it up in a more way that she wouldn't get her head bit off. She re-asked it, which is, how did you feel the offense did as a unit? And then he responded normally and calmly. So it was definitely one of those, I think he heard the beginning of it, and he just had in mind what he was going to say. He didn't really listen to her fully for the full question. So I do see that. That's been a habit, though. But another thing I'm thinking with this is the fact, this is something you even bring into, we talked about Urban Meyer in the situation there, is there a level where these coaches have to remember that they're the biggest face in a lot of situations for these universities, and showing disrespect to someone on national TV could be seen negatively in the branding of that university. I think you can get away with it with the Urban Meyers and Saban some because they win that's what people see the most. But as a whole, should that be something universities should be, hey, take more serious? Hey, you represent the school first.
Yeah, and what does the brand affect? It affects recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it affects the perception of the parents who they're going to send their kid to a school under a coach. Sponsorships from different apparel companies and things like that. I mean, that's definitely a good point. But really, I mean, for these coaches, for me, you got to understand where your bread's buttered. I mean, college football has had a huge rise in viewership and sponsorships and money. You see these head coaches, I mean, they're signing record contracts, Nick Saban being one of them.
Yeah.
The media being involved and asking these questions has led to coaches making more money. Yes, they're under the microscope. Yes, social media is out there. But it definitely has factored into the pay going up for coaches. So you have to understand that when you take a job like an Alabama job, you know, you're going to get asked the same question over and over again until people get the answer that they want. So it's really the coaches that keep the level head. You don't have to disclose anything.
Right.
You can answer the question with not actually addressing what you think people are saying. And the coaches are in control of that. But for me, you got to understand where your money's coming from, and the media plays a huge part of that.
It does. And I'm not saying that. I'm sure he's getting tired of hearing that same question again, but just the fact that you can still handle it a lot better. You can just say, I don't know. Or you can say, move on, I'm not going to answer it. Even, again, in the Urban Meyer situation, he would have saved himself a lot if he would have just said no comment. I mean, you could easily just say those 2 words and that'd been done with it. I think there's still that. I personally think he probably crossed the line, and just the way he handled it was inappropriate. But moving forward, I'm sure we'll have something else soon from him. It's just the way it goes with him. But regardless, everything's in the driver's seat. At the end of the day, people care about winners. Bama won big, so that's going to continue to be the ultimate talk is, are they going to have another national title at the end of the year? That's going to be the big story in a week or two. So this will blow over like any other event in college football that's small like this. At the end of the day, people care about winning. And again, like Urban Meyer's situation too. Ohio State won. It didn't matter that Urban Meyer wasn't on the side of the field. They looked really good and dominant. So that's what people care about the most at the end of the day is who's winning and losing.
Right.
So.
Yep. And Tua played a great game, and it looks like he's going to be the starter going forward. So as long as Alabama keeps winning, no drama, no problems there.
Right.
All right, we appreciate you guys watching. Looking forward to next week's show. Hope you guys enjoy the football games this week.
Yep.
All right.
Later, guys.